What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Echo and the Bunnymen, and we're returning to the 1987 self-titled album. Thank you again to Amber. And the next track is Lost and Found, which most immediately makes me think of the resource or organization within a larger entity, be it a building or a corporation, where items and perhaps even people that have been lost might be retrieved and brought back into the possession of those who are missing them. And again, it might relate to an actual artifact, an object, a watch or a purse or a phone that someone accidentally left in a certain area and they need help retrieving if it is possible to find it. It could, of course, be a person, and sometimes the idea is if you've been separated from someone that you're with, be it a family member, and whether this is an amusement park or indeed a corporate building, a mall where you're shopping, you might go there in the chance that the other person you've been separated from will also go there. And so yes, taking that to what I imagine will be a different context, extrapolating it to the idea of losing someone or something that is vital to your life, to your emotional well-being, maybe even losing yourself on your path, your own trajectory. I wonder whether there could be a before and after in the song, the idea of a feeling of being disconnected from or unable to determine where you should go, only to then find yourself or the narrator's self in the second half of the song, or perhaps describing the desire to find what has been lost. So again, I don't expect it to relate to the most specific and practical application of the phrase, but I would not be surprised if it's building on or extrapolating from that to a metaphorical or figurative level. I'll stop talking and we'll listen to the song. This is Echo and the Bunnymen. The track is Lost and Found, and it's included on their 1987 self-titled album. cool one. So, again, I can't help but notice the difference between the earliest material and the sound here, though again, not only do I understand that the band is evolving, but also that I've skipped a couple previous steps in that evolution, and I will go back to those albums once I finish this. But yes, so number one, it has a bit of that spacious, echoic type of quality, which I think adds to the concept of feeling lost. You know, there's a bit of ambiguity as to the depth or the perception that you're seeing relative to what may be actually. And we do get some visuals. I caught more lines in the beginning because I got really lost in the cavernous and echoic type of sound. But I really do enjoy, before I even talk about the lines that I heard, the guitar work. Indeed, this is, you know, whenever I make comparisons, I always want to assure people that I enjoy linking sounds and stylings in my brain, even if, number one, I get that each of these groups are doing things independently, or even if they are inspired by other bands or, you know, other songs they've heard, they're still expressing it in their own musical and sonic fashion. But I felt like some of the guitar work reminded me of The Edge. It feels like it could have been a U2 song from the mid-'80s, or even like, and I've heard Simple Minds up to 86, and they're another band that's evolved a lot from the earliest stuff I've heard up until the stuff in the second half of the 80s, and it feels like a post-85 Simple Minds song too. So yeah, it had a bit of a luster to the guitar work. I enjoy the vocals. Both the guitar and the vocals at different times felt like they had some effects on them, not just echo, but maybe, you know, some like filter. Definitely the keyboard, the like true keyboard sound was standing out. And then in the second half of the tune, there was like this wavy, like synth, like more properly like keyboard type of layer that really stuck out to me. So I like the different ingredients and the composition, as well as the chronology with which the arrangement evolved and altered over the course of the track. And yeah, so at the beginning, I think he said he was in a graveyard and, you know, looking up at the sky, and then he was being made a reference to being in a forest that's like burning into ashes, which, you know, that would be very disorienting, and you'd not necessarily have a sense of where you should go, but an idea that you have to move along, you have to go find somewhere else. So I don't know exactly how those lines, which I'm seeing as figurative or metaphorical, might relate to finding yourself, but it does sound like it's both sides of that process. It sounds like there is a sense that he was lost, but he is found, or at least is in the process of finding himself, his trajectory, what he needs to find. So the overall atmosphere of the song was uplifting. It felt like there were better days ahead than maybe that burning forest, or the feeling of being lost or having lost something that maybe defines the opening of the narrative, or the initial framework from which he is trying to reach out to the other side. So yeah, a very like lush tune sonically. I enjoyed the vocals. I enjoyed what I caught from the themes and the lines on a first listen. So yeah, another good one from Echo and the Bunnymen. Thank you again to Amber, and from Luca and I. Let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.